Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for tuning in to Community Updates and Enlightened Hearts. Tonight we've got a phenomenal guest, Mr. Pastor Gloyd Curd.
Yes.
And just been having a chance to sit and talk with him. Awesome testimony and a wonderful play coming up. We're going to be giving away tickets tonight. So call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know that we're on, and we're going to be giving away tickets to a wonderful play called Married with Single Intentions. And so it's exciting. It's here in the area. We thank you for all of the viewers and listeners. And now when I'm going out, people are saying, hey, I'm listening to your show. And I'm just so thankful for all the people who tune in weekly. We are here every week on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the land. We're on from 6 to 7 p.m. And again, we thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
And we always like to give a little community information as well. And don't forget, you can catch us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and all streaming platforms. So I'm always talking about the water and our water system. Water is needed in this national company, Ready Refresh. You can get your water brought right to your door, similar to how the Absopures used to be, but more streamlined, is more cost effective. Call Ready Refresh. Get your water delivered right to your door. The water doesn't sit on top of the system. It's on the bottom. And it comes in different colors to fit your fine home, and it's streamlined. It's a little thinner so you can make it fit wherever you need it to fit in your home. I didn't think that it would fit in my home, and it's fit in the perfect spot. So give awesome. Ready Refresh a call, and they're at 248-798-0232. Again, that's 248-798-0232. Have Ready Refresh water. It is alkaline water, spring water, and they have whatever kind of water you want. They've got it right there for you in the 5-gallon bottles, and I'm drinking mine up. I love water. Anybody love water?
Yeah.
I love water. I drink a good gallon of water every day. Because I just love, that's the best drink in the world. Absolutely. When I drink pop, it makes me want water.
Well, that's true. That's very, very true.
So again, we thank you for tuning in to Community Updates and Enlightened Hearts. Regina, did you have anything? So I'm one of your hosts, Michelle White, and Miss Regina Hall. Did you have anything you wanted to share before we get started talking?
Well, I just want us to continue to remember that this is stress month. Yes. Well, anti-stress month, right? We want to be anti-stress.
Exactly.
So, yes. So the one thing that I would encourage people to understand that I actually was speaking with one of my mentors, and he was like, there's no such thing as stress. No such thing as stress. He said the reason why there's no such thing as stress because it's all about how we interpret events. He said that events are not what causes problems for us. It's our interpretation of the events that causes the problem. And I thought that was just so powerful.
Yes, that is. It's the interpretation.
Yes.
It's how we interpret the events that cause the problem.
That cause the problem.
That's true.
And so and it's our distortions. It's what we're believing about the problem. So I just wanted to leave you with that tidbit, even though this is stress month or de-stressing. It's all about how you think about an event. So check your thoughts.
And we all have different things, challenges. Life presents challenges. There's a quote that is in the Bible that says, many are the affliction of the righteous, but I'll deliver you out of them all. So it's not that life does not come with challenges, but we've got Miss Wonderful Regina Hall that is a licensed therapist and here for you to talk to. Call in. You can get some free tips and counseling. You don't have to say your name when you call in.
Sure don't.
You can call in right here this evening, 313-355-6018. 313-355-6018.
Yes.
Feel free to call in anytime this evening. Talk to the therapist. Share what's going on. She will give you some wonderful tips to help you get through it. Sometimes part of the problem is we don't talk about it.
Absolutely.
We just keep it and hold it in, and that's not good. We're not so strong that we don't need to talk about things, and you might not always feel comfortable talking to. Sometimes the person you don't need to talk to is your friends. They will give you bad advice, not intentionally, but they going through their own stuff, and people don't always, you have to be really careful with that.
Yeah.
So we've got somebody here, the wonderful Miss Regina Hall, who is willing to talk to you and willing. Just call us at 313. Call somebody else. You know other people that are going through different challenges in life. And we see what we have just here in the Michigan, because we have people listening from all over the world. But just here in Michigan this past weekend, we had, 5 killings downtown? 5 shootings. Somebody stressed out about something. The first result to whatever you're stressed about in this anti-stress month is not you shouldn't resort to a gun. It's not that serious. So you end up sitting up in jail saying, man, it wasn't really that serious. I work in the prisons, and trust me, the brothers and sisters want to come out.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So call somebody, talk about it. You get to call in right here to Enlighten Hearts and Community Updates, and she's here to help enlighten your heart.
Yes.
Call 313-355-6018.
I wanted to say, Michelle, did you have any community updates today?
Well, I just, no.
No, okay, so I have one, if
Yes,
you don't
ma'am.
mind. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
So there is a conference going on. It's called Trauma Healing Workshop.
Okay.
And it's hosted by Cassandra Phipps. She's a licensed professional counselor, a beautiful person. It is on April the 21st, on Friday from 6 to 8 p.m., and you can register at Eventbrite. And it's called Trauma Healing Workshop. If you want more information, call 313-282-6504. That's 313-282-6504. It's called Trauma Healing Workshop on this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m.
So can you give that information one more time for all the people that said, I don't have my paper? You know, when you come on this show, you need to have your paper and pencil in front of you. So if you could share that information one more time.
So it's a trauma healing workshop. Come out and join us Friday night to learn, grow, and heal together, hosted by Cassandra Phipps. She's a licensed professional counselor on April the 21st, this Friday, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can register at Eventbrite. If you want more information, call 313-282-6504.
Thank you for sharing that, Regina.
282.
So thank you again for sharing that.
Yes.
So, Pastor Curd, you've been a pastor for 21 years. No, you've been a husband for 21 years.
Yeah,
and you've been pastoring for, is it 16 years?
Yeah.
And you're a pastor of, what's the name of your church?
Kingdom Workers Ministry. That's at Sundays at 12 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, Kingdom Grace Apostolic Anointing Ministries. That's at 4 p.m. My Sundays are very long.
Okay.
Well, that's wonderful. And you have been working with plays and for many years. Is it 16 years? 17 years you've been doing plays. And I love that when I was reading the titles of these different plays, I said, oh, this man has a testimony.
Absolutely.
Because the titles, let me see, you've done Let the Redeemed of the Lord Say So, Has Thou Considered, Trade in My Life, Breaking Daddy's Sin, Secrets and Soul Ties, The Deliverance of a Dysfunctional Family, and right now you've got, that's going to be coming up soon, Married with Single Intentions.
Yep.
Wow.
I love that title.
I know, right?
Married with Single Intentions. So tell us how you came about doing plays.
Well, I was a manager at Applebee's for like 10 years.
Okay.
And all my life I've been running businesses and working as an entrepreneur as well. God just, he pulled me out of the secular world. And I came off my job and I was driving down Gratiot, leaving Applebee's. And I was crying because I had been working since I was 14 years old. All I knew was work.
Mm.
And I'm crying and I'm saying, Lord, what do you want me to do now?
Mm-hmm.
And he took me to Genesis 12. And in Genesis 12, he told Abraham to come out from your father's house. I'm going to make your name great. I'm going to make you a great nation. I'm going to bless those that bless you and encourage those that encourage you. All of these blessings was on him. It was on Abraham. And he said, I'm going to break you so that I can bless you.
Mm.
And then I'm going to take you to the nations.
Mm.
And it got hard. It got real. He began to strip me of me.
Yeah.
My old nature, my old thoughts, my old ways. And so as I was laying before him, I said, God, what you want me to do? He said, I want you to write a play.
Mm-hmm.
I said, huh? He said, write a play. And when I talk to God, I challenge him. I challenge his narrative. Whatever he's saying to me, I need instructions.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know you're talking to me.
Okay.
So he said, I said, well, Lord, what's the name of the play? He said, this play is going to be called Anointed but Flawed.
Mm.
So I wrote Anointed but Flawed. And I said, okay, Lord, what do you want me to put this play on at? He said, go back to the hall you threw your first cabaret at, threw your first party at.
Isn't that something? So you at the spot where you threw your first cabaret, and as God was changing you, he wanted you to go back to that spot and now do an anointed play.
I'm your name.
Yes.
I'm restoring your name. So I go back, we do the play. It was challenging. And so how we got here at Married with Single Intentions, I had been married for like 3, almost 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having a hard time in my marriage because I didn't understand marriage. I didn't understand the selflessness needed to have a successful marriage.
Say that again. You didn't understand the selflessness needed to have a successful marriage.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling God, I said, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be married anymore. I can't do this. It's not for me. And I'm laying on a cold basement floor, and God says, Gloyd, he said, son, it's you. He said, you married, but all your intentions are single.
Mm.
And then he says to me, lady, something that blew my mind, and I will remember for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
He said, son, marriage is a death. He said, you have to die to your selfishness.
Yeah, that's
You have
powerful.
to die to everything that's about you. The two shall become one. This is a great mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be able to endure what's going to take to make y'all one? So he began to show me. I didn't like what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So I began to write Married with Single Intentions. When I wrote it, we put it on in 2010. We put it on again in 2011. Every time we put it on, I always tweaked it and rewrote it.
Okay.
And updated. Because this play, the one we're doing now, I added a whole new scene. So if you've seen it, when you see it again, it's going to look totally different because we added a whole new scene.
Yeah.
And it's coming up May the 12th, Friday, May the 12th, and Saturday, May the 13th at the Bethel Community Center. And it says that you've got the doors open. Oh, no. How much is the play?
$25.
Well, we've got some tickets, $25. That's a good price. That's a good price for a professional play, secured parking, and
it's 8801 Woodward at Gladstone, right over there in the Little Rock Baptist Church area.
Yes,
Constant is right over there in the area. You can't miss it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I wanted to ask you, Pastor, when you say that the Lord talked to you about dying to self, right? Could you just elaborate on that a little more? Because I remember someone saying to me that they had already died. And so what does that look like? What does that mean when you think about it from a spirituality?
Well, the evolution of your new man takes the death of the old man. And I tell people that when God is commanding you and commissioning you to mature, because you have to grow up. When you're talking about existing in a union as one, you have to grow up, because we're naturally individuals. So you're naturally selfish creatures because you're an individual. When I got married, I wasn't conscious of thinking about. I thought about me first.
Yes.
When I got married, now I'm thinking about a wife. I'm thinking about children. I'm thinking about a future. But God had to reposition my thinking. So I had to be focused on Him first, because I couldn't do it without Him counseling me. The Bible says this: those that are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. So if I was going to be a son of God, I had to be led by His Spirit
That's
and
right.
His voice.
Yes.
And so when He would talk to me, about dying to my old appetite, my old cravings, it was difficult.
Yes.
But what He was asking was doable, or He wouldn't have been asking me to do it.
That's right. Yeah, I love that, because what you're saying is that we bring our singleness into a marriage,
Yep.
and we have to begin to understand and journey into a union.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes, when we get married, we think it's just some automatic,
Man.
like, okay, I'm married.
That's it.
You know, oh, it shouldn't be this hard.
That's it.
You know, why are we arguing all the time? Why are we going through this? But it's new.
Yeah, it's new. And the thing, like when I counsel couples, because I won't marry anyone without counseling. I tell
Okay,
couples,
very
I won't.
good.
You can't pay me $1 million to marry a couple without counseling them. And
Me
one of
too.
the-
I've married
I
a few people, but you've got to go through
You have to-
counseling.
you have
to-
And
I
it's
have
not
to.
always with me because I'm single.
Yep,
I can give you some stuff, but then I refer you to a
Absolutely.
couple.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I said you have to sit with me because, one, you think you're compatible. There are some challenges that only marriage can hand you. Marriage is a different creature.
It is.
And the first thing when I asked people, I said, well, give me 5 bullet points you want to accomplish in your first year of marriage. And they all start the same way. It's 2 things. The man gonna most of the time talk about money.
Yeah, right.
And the woman always gonna talk about communication. All,
You go.
those two are the top. But what they fail to realize is, no matter how much money you have saved up in the plan, you're always going to have financial problems if you're not one.
All right.
Because life coming. I tell people, I don't care how much money you got, life coming. And if you're selfish about your money, if you're selfish about your finances, if y'all not one, and you got a secret bank account and what's mine is mine, the marriage that is a ministry is going to fail.
It's a house
Yeah.
divided.
It's a house divided. It's going to fail. We have to trust each other with our future.
Yeah.
I have to be able to turn my eye away and say, she got me.
And
And
what
vice
about when
versa.
people say, well, I can't, it's hard. I ain't giving you my check. I work hard for this money. But we have to trust God
We do.
and the God in the person.
We do.
And hopefully you're yoked with someone if you're a godly person. Everybody's not a godly person.
Not God fearing.
Everybody not listening to the show is not godly. But if you are, you need to get with somebody. And just because someone says I'd accepted Christ doesn't mean they're a godly person.
Not at all.
Well, that's also growth, right? So when you talk about being, you're married, but you have single intentions, what are some of those intentions that you find people tend to operate in their marriages?
Well, most men, a lot of men, they're domineering when they come into the marriage, especially if they're the provider. I was like that. I pay the bills, so when I walk out the house, the lights should go out. You know, I mean, I like things a certain way. But we were blending. We were growing together. And I teach couples this. I say, listen to me. There's tolerances, and then there's deal breakers. You know what a deal breaker is. A deal breaker is abuse. A deal breaker is adultery. A deal breaker is mistreating. But to go into a marriage and say, I'm not tolerating anything, that's just not realistic.
That's not realistic,
You're
right?
gonna tolerate something, okay? Guess what? You may marry a man that's a little sloppy, but you can teach each other. Listen, baby, pick your shoes up and take them in the bedroom. And I sometimes do it for him or with her. Listen, baby, and after you make that sandwich, clean the crumbs off the counter. Things that may be agitating and aggravating, those are tolerances. They're not deal breakers. And those are opportunities to just grow together.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, do you think that infidelity, adultery in the relationship is a deal breaker? Because people say all the time, well, if they ever mess around on me, I can't, I'm not taking it.
That's said. That's said a lot, but I don't found out mentally and emotionally they say it is, and it probably should be, but I'm not you and you're not me. I don't know what you can endure. I don't know what you're equipped to overcome. A lot of us say, if I'm cheated on, it's a done deal, it's a wrap. That could be a possibility, a great possibility.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
got some people, I'm not, but I don't judge anyone who decided to stay and fight for that marriage.
Because their fight is not against flesh and blood.
It's not.
And people forget that when they're in a
Yeah.
relationship. Well, he did this. Well, she did that. Okay, I hear you. And it's legitimate. But your fight ain't there. The enemy is trying to destroy families. Our
Absolutely.
government system is designed
Come
to
on.
try and destroy families. I'm
We-
in a book club right now. We're reading the 16,
You know that's
19
another hour
project.
show.
I know. And it was set up from the beginning
Yes.
to destroy
Yes.
families. It's not by happenstance that there's the girl power and the man is in the background somewhere. It was designed that way. Our government system.
Systematic emasculation
Exactly.
of the
Yes.
man and the father. And guess what? It's to disrupt and eradicate family and family principles.
Yeah.
If you remove that strong man, that God-fearing man out of the home, I tell people, it is a strong black woman is amazing and phenomenal. But it's never ever meant by God for a single woman to raise children.
That's right.
It's going to be something missing. It is not her fault, but it is something that's going to be missing. So you watch our young men. I mentor a lot of young men. Tomorrow morning I have to be at Judge King's courtroom with some young men because some of them getting in trouble. And I called him. He said, "Come on, Pastor, bring them down here," because they need to understand the value
Yeah.
of being a black man. What it is, what it means, what they can accomplish. Historically, sovereignty flows through our bloodstream. Royalty flows through. I mean, historically, we kings.
Yes.
We kings, and
And
guess what?
queens.
And our women are
That's
queens.
That's
That's
right.
right. And there's a strength that that God has put in men that they are to express that strength.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
women are there to help encourage that strength, encourage the man. You know, lazy and man should never be in
Never.
the same sentence.
Can't even do
Weak and man should never be in the same sentence.
Yeah.
But they have to be encouraged and taught
Absolutely.
how to be strong men.
Absolutely.
And it takes men like yourself to help encourage other
Absolutely.
men to be strong men and what that entails.
Yeah. Well, when you start, doing the plays, right? And did you start having women and men coming up to you and confessing about their single intentions and
Oh
what
my
they were
God.
dealing with? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
After so many plays, men and women would walk up to me with tears in their eyes. It was some of the plays when I first started writing. Of course, it's never like you want it. So I would sometimes leave discouraged,
Okay.
and then someone would come to me and say, "Please don't stop. That was me on stage. That was my family on stage. That's exactly what I was going through." When we did the play, The Deliverance of a Dysfunctional Family, I wrote that
Wow.
because I was just tired of the normalization of dysfunctional families. We got Pookie, who's just strung out, and he just
Yeah.
do-
And
act the way he
particularly in the African American community.
and we normalize it. We normalize daddy beating up on mama and mama just saying sweeping it under the rug and no, we gotta stop normalizing this nonsense. So I had a woman walk up to me. Her eyes were bloodshot red, and you could just tell she had boohooed the whole play.
Oh, wow.
And she said, "Thank you. That was my family." And see, I love what you do, the mental health aspect of it, because our plays, we address that. We address the conversation of generational trauma, because that's all we can call it. We saw mama go through with daddy and normalize it. We saw uncles touching daughters, little girl, and we just normalize it. So we put it on stage. So we now have a comfortable verbiage that said we can't discuss this. That was normal. Why did we sweep that under the rug? And now it gives us permission to heal.
Yeah. And you hear oftentimes, Pastor, that men say that they struggle with black women. You know, because in this label is put on women about us being angry. And that's societal as well. Can you speak to that a little? Because I'm wondering, do you get men talking about that's why they tend to lean back on their single tendencies because of how they feel treated in the home?
Well, it's sometimes that's a reason and rationale, but sometimes it's just an excuse.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
No, seriously, sometimes it's just an excuse, because if a strong woman challenges you to be a king, she's just challenging you to get in your lane.
That's right.
I'm overcome by the blood and the word of my testimony. Before I married my wife, I had a gang of women. Okay?
Not a couple, he said gang.
So, but I knew that I was chosen, and this nonsense had to stop. But what made me marry my wife was she challenged me. She told me, I'm not about to do this nonsense with you. I love you, but I'm not about to do this with you. I know it's something on you, but I'm not about to wait, and you're not about to treat me. I'm not about to be third, fourth, fifth in line with three. She just told me. But God was already dealing with my heart. And I just one day cried out and said, God, I just help me.
Yeah.
I need some strength. So a lot of times when you hear that, and I'm not saying it's not happening, because some women come from hurt where they say, no man is ever going to treat me or abuse me, and then when they get a good man, because I've seen this,
That's
when
right.
they get a good man, they mistreat the gift. God is saying, this is your gift. But sometimes I told a couple, I said, the problem is you have the cold and you have the flu.
All right.
Similar symptoms, not the same. One is a little tad more severe. But because I've had the flu, sometimes I'll treat the cold the same way I treat the flu. And it's not as severe. I know a woman, she mistreated her husband for years, and he was good to her.
So it's not always the men mistreating the women.
That's true.
There's sometimes women who are mistreating the men. I had in counseling, I had a young lady come to me, well, he hit me, he did that. I said, what did you do? I know you. You had your finger all up in his face. She was probably hitting on him. Well, I said, so, so he eventually hit you back.
Exactly. You asked.
Not that that's right.
No, it's not.
But because I taught my son and my grandson,
Restraint.
you can grab a woman by her arms
Restraint.
and say stop in a firm manner to get her to stop. Like there's a look that you all can give that is like, look, don't do anything else. But I want people to call in.
Or you
want
can
you to call
not
in.
touch her at all and walk your little behind out the door.
Right. That's right. That too.
Okay.
And some men know that and will do that too.
Yes.
And just walk away.
Yeah,
I'm going to walk away because I don't
right.
want to
And
touch
women
you.
let them.
You know what
And
I
women
found out?
and you need to, because they need to work off that steam.
I tell my son this. He's my only son. I tell my spiritual sons, if a woman can bring that side out of you, that's telling you
You don't need her.
you don't need her. If a woman can make you hit her, I mean, if you're trying to restrain yourself. And the same thing with women. I tell women, if a man can bring that side out of you, that's telling you y'all should not be together. There's no way I could lay next to my wife and I gave her a black eye and I'm laying next to her looking at her pretty black-eyed face, okay, and feeling good about that.
Well,
Well,
because
it
you have to, because it's really about, and that's a whole nother subject, but that's really about power and control, right? It's not about you hit me, I hit you. It's really not about that.
Is.
It's about power and control. which I wanted to ask you something about, but I'm going to let Michelle go ahead because she said she wanted some callers to call
Yes,
in.
I want some callers to call in. Tell us about some of your experiences, some of your marital
First call,
challenges.
get free 2 tickets.
I was going to say,
tickets.
not the first call. Let's give it to the third
Third
call.
okay.
Third
great.
caller
Okay,
gets,
all right.
and somebody has already texted me and said, how can I get tickets? So I said, you need to tune in, and because we're giving away tickets. So we need you to call 313-355-6018, and the third caller gets tickets.
Right.
But call in also and let us know some of the challenges or some of the ways that you have been able to work at your marriage or your relationship, hopefully your marriage, and it's working now, but you might have gone through something. Share that with us. Or maybe you're going through something right now, and this is being a blessing to you that you're hearing on ways to work on that marriage, because marriage is work.
Yes, it is.
It takes work.
Yes, it is.
Every
It
day.
is every day.
Every day.
Yes.
And I love what you said. You said I had to learn to surrender and sacrifice.
Still learning.
And still
Yeah.
learning.
Still learning.
So call
Forever
in at
growing.
313-355-6018. I don't want to have to give it to the first caller. I want to give it to the third caller. Get these tickets to Married with
Yes.
Single Intentions. It's going to be a play right here Friday, May the 12th and Saturday, May the 13th. Maybe you're flying into town and we'll be here that week. Call in 313-355-6018. Get your tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Pastor. So I heard 2 of your titles, right? You've been doing it for 17 years. Your titles are so profound.
Yes.
When you hear marriage with single married with single intentions, and then you said the dysfunctional
The
family.
deliverance of a dysfunctional family.
Tell us more about some of your other titles and what was some of the inspirations behind them.
Breaking Daddy's Sins, Secrets, and Soul Ties.
Okay, now say that one.
Say that
again.
one again.
Breaking Daddy's Sins, Secrets,
And soul ties.
and Soul Ties.
Wow.
Because I'm real invested in family, especially. I love y'all can't say that. I love my city. I love City of Detroit. I love our community. I know we're going through, but there's hope. But I saw how we celebrate some of the most grossest nonsense. When I do funerals, homegoings or hellgoings, whatever you want to call them. When I do them, I watch some of the stuff that we celebrate in families. Babies being slaughtered, murdered in the streets, overdoses. And you got these T-shirts that they wear and they celebrate the dysfunction. And we know a soul tie is a connection to a person or a person and that situation. You have godly soul ties. You have ungodly soul ties. And I wrote a play about a father who had connected his family's gene line to a ungodly soul tie, and a whole family spiraled out of control.
Wow.
Until they recommitted their life back to Christ.
Okay.
And once they recommitted their life, it has so many twists and turns. There was another play that people were really crying about and giving their life back to God, and because it shows the harm that the choices of a father can make.
Yes.
And cause the family to generationally go through curses and dysfunction from one generation to the next generation until someone stands up as a matriarch and patriarch. Because I don't find out the matriarch and the patriarch is not always the oldest. The wisest person in the family is not always the oldest. Sometimes the wise ones sometimes be the most ignorant. They the one they keep the foolishness going. Someone has to step up and say, "We're not doing this. We're gonna break this cycle. It stopped with us."
Yeah, well, I love the fact that you talked about soul ties, right? Because oftentimes when you are jumping from partner to partner to partner to partner, and I tried to explain this to someone and they were like, that's not true. And I love what you said, the spiritual soul ties. So you are going to bed, let's say, after you done had 3 or 4 partners, you could be going to bed with 1,000 people for all you know. Because you're going to bed with all their partners and all their partners' partners and so it's just a continuation of a line.
I've seen young men and young women whole personality change when they became intimate with a person. Hope, and I would be looking like she was nothing like that until she got a boyfriend. It's that soul tie. So his influence or her influence has transferred spirits.
You mean spirits transfer?
Spirits.
I mean, I know they do.
Right. Yeah.
Transfer spirits.
Yes.
And then you be, why my child acting out of control? Because you let Jim come into the house.
Jim.
Now Jim calling you mama, and ma, and he come from a whole different culture and custom. So as parents, we have to do our homework, and we have to be careful who we connect ourselves with. I tell single women, especially the blended family, you know, we have single mothers, and they're just looking for a father for their children. And sometimes they can get desperate, and they marry someone, and when you marry that person, and they're not pro you or pro them kids, they can destroy those babies.
Yeah, that's really true.
Soul ties are deep.
Yeah.
So how did you said you had a gang of women. So how did you get all those different soul ties off of you?
If any man be in Christ, is a new creature. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new.
Yeah.
The Bible
that's right.
says this: He became my sin so I can become His righteousness. But becoming and saying all of that, I have to be accountable of all of my dysfunctional ways. And I repented. And I cried out, Lord, create in me.
Cried out.
Create in me a clean heart. I can't defeat this without you. I tell people, be honest with God. He know anyway.
Yeah.
And deliverance happens in layers. And understand, I'm writing a book. Okay.
I'm writing a book. All right.
And we're going to talk about your book, My Reality is God Designed Me to Be Great.
I wrote another book called The Pursuit of God's Fullness, and then we about to do a devotional. But it's one book that I have to write. It's called Understanding the Limitations of the Flesh. Understand what your flesh is capable of. It'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. Okay?
All right.
I tell people, if you have a gambling addiction, please don't go to the casino to eat at the buffet. You gonna get in trouble.
No sense.
Don't put yourself in the midst of something that you already know you have a challenge.
Struggling with that. I'm just going to eat. But when you
You're
hear the
tricking
bells,
yourself.
and the same thing with sensual, sexual, lascivious weaknesses. If you know you weak in that area and you're trying to be strong, don't put yourself in situations where your flesh gonna get up, because he is going to get up.
But what about willpower? What about the willpower? I mean, if you have the will, you should have willpower. You should be strong enough to ignore those type of things that come in your life. I mean, really, willpower.
Eventually, you should get there. But until you get there, acknowledge where you're flawed and where you're weak at. Now, we're talking about acknowledging where you're weak at, not where you're already strong at or where you're already an overcomer at. I'm talking about understanding the limitation of your flesh. If that's not a limitation of your flesh, that's fine. Me, I've never battled with gambling or anything. I can walk right through the casino, go and eat, and don't none of that stuff bother me. But a person that's still struggling with that, my brother used to say this all the time. He said, if you keep going to the barbershop, you're gonna get a haircut.
That's right.
You may go down to the casino 3, 4, 5, but we have an adversary. And we don't want to be ignorant to his devices. The devil gonna dangle something in your face to make you fall.
I mean, and that's just truth, right? And I was kidding about the willpower, because the truth of the matter is that my husband and I, we talk about this because he likes to bring junk in the house. So we have a refrigerator downstairs, and I said, you can take all that down in the basement because I like it, and out of sight, out of mind for me. You know, and he says, well, I shouldn't have to do that because you should have willpower. And so I have come to understand my willpower is for you to carry it down there in the basement, but I don't have to be tempted by it. Okay?
Yeah,
that's my willpower right there.
I love it.
Because if I don't see it, I don't have to tussle or struggle with it. And I think that's what, there's a show out now. And I have watched it a couple of times, and I have found it interesting. I don't want to criticize it, but it's about putting a ring on it. And so what the leader does, or the counselor, the therapist does, is that she introduces a person, a man or a woman or whatever, into the relationship, and just to see, for them to grow and see how strong they are. I'm sorry, you don't need that.
No.
Okay, you don't need to introduce other people into your relationship, and then you sitting up there with anxiety, wondering what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it, and if you come back home, I'm gonna ...
Right.
you. Just all of that. It's crazy.
Thank you.
Wow, that's toxic.
That's toxic right
now,
there.
Hold that thought, because I want to share a story. But we have a caller that's calling in right now. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello. Are you calling in for the play tickets, or you calling in because you heard something you want to share? We're talking about relationships.
Or both.
Or both.
That's right.
Well, I'm calling in for the tickets.
Wonderful. Well, we'll get some tickets to you, because you were the first caller.
Yeah.
And Pastor Kurd said the first caller.
Yeah.
I was trying to give them to the third caller, but you're going to get 2 tickets to the play Married with Single Intentions. Do you want Friday, May the 14th, or Saturday, May the...
That's 12th and 13th.
I mean the 12th. Friday, May the 12th, or Saturday, May the 13th?
Friday, May the 12th.
Friday, May the 12th. So I need you to call right back and because I got to get your information so we can get the tickets to you. So call right back and give your information to the operator, and we'll get the tickets to you.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Thank
Minister
you.
Michelle. This is Jackie.
Hey, Jackie. Well, I'm glad you got the tickets. Enjoy yourself.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. And please keep tuning in. We're talking about some hot
Absolutely.
topics.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie. Take care.
So if you want to elaborate on that,
I wanted to say this real quick. So, we're talking about people coming in relationships and
Yes.
introducing people into their home. So, I have a friend. I had a former friend. He'd done the same thing. Brought a woman into his home. He likes to have threesomes. Now, number one, that spirit promotes a lot of sexual stuff. Women liking women, men liking men. The homosexual thing. That a lot of that starts with threesomes, especially with the women. Well, I think we have another caller calling in. Hello, caller. Oh, okay. So she's going to give her information to you, or I do have her information. But so as a result, this man's wife ended up leaving him for the woman that he brought into their bedroom.
Serves him right.
Mm-hmm.
Serves him right.
And to this day, they're not. She went off with that woman, and
she went off with the woman.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
I
went
thought
off
you
with
said
him.
That's why I said
did.
serves
Okay.
him right.
She
Serves him
went
right.
off with the woman. She decided she liked when you open that door,
Yeah.
that portal.
Yeah.
And the Bible
It
says
can,
some things
yeah.
only come out through prayer and
And
fasting.
Yes.
And a lot of times when you open certain doors, certain portals, because we are spirit beings and we have to recognize that. And when you
Yeah.
open certain doors and walk through them, it's not that it doesn't feel good. The devil comes as an angel of light. It feels real good.
Yeah.
But you got to shut that door,
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
I don't found out what feel the best hurts the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at drug addiction, it started off feeling good,
Mm-hmm.
and it cost you your life, your destiny, and your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you can shut that.
You can shut
You can
it.
be delivered
Thank
from
God
it.
for Jesus.
Yes.
Thank God for Jesus.
Yeah.
You can shut that door.
Mm-hmm.
Repentance is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Godly sorrow is powerful.
But you got to cry out.
You gotta cry.
You got to open your mouth. It's not good enough just to think it in your head. And well, God knows. He knows what I'm thinking. He knows what I'm saying. And don't get caught up in condemnation. I don't want to be a hypocrite because I'm still going to do so and so and so and so. You cry out anyway. And
Yeah.
eventually you get there. You might not even get there immediately.
You fall, you get back up.
That's
You
right.
Yes.
fall, you get back up.
Well, I
keep
wanted you
pressing.
to talk a little bit more about that because
And tell us about your book.
a lot of men don't cry. You know,
Mhm.
they don't. So for you to cry out to God, Michelle and I have talked about that, and I think women, we position ourselves to cry out to God.
Yeah.
But men, I I would venture to say it's a different story. You tell me.
It's not an expression of weakness, and sometimes through culture it has been looked at as an expression of weakness. It's actually an expression of strength.
Yes.
I'm an
Yes.
emotional man, and when it comes to my relationship with Christ, I'm very emotional, and simply because when I think about how much He loves me, how much He loves us, it's an amazing love, unexplainable. I mean, when you think about how much He loves us and the grace that He has for us, and even the forbearance and endurance that He endured when we were ignorant, just living in any kind of way, and He still loved us. He said, I reign on the just as well as the unjust, and we at one time were unjust. So my tears are my strength. I acknowledge that I need Him. When I'm hurting, I cry.
All right.
If I'm going through, and I might just get to myself, and I may scream. If I'm going through in my ministry, in my church, sometimes I go to my church and I clean the church up, and sometimes I be scream at the top of my voice, Jesus, and tears may be flowing. It's not a sign of weakness. A sign of weakness is quitting.
All right.
That's the sign of weakness. I cry, but I don't quit.
Yeah.
So do you teach this? I'm sure you teach this to
Absolutely.
the men, and men need to hear that and be encouraged to know it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry out. It's okay to worship on Sunday, because
Yes.
worship. I mean, and let me rephrase that. You can worship on the toilet.
That's it.
Okay, I don't mean to be crass, but it doesn't have to be in a specific
It doesn't.
place.
It's for a specific
You
day.
can sing out, cry out anytime,
Yeah.
Monday through Sunday,
Yes, you can.
24/7,
Come on.
and there is a release that takes place when we
Yes.
do that, and it's so important to open up that mouth,
Yeah.
because whatever we're going to be delivered from, help with, get strength from, it comes with us opening up our mouths.
Yes, ma'am.
So you said you mentor different men too, and my reality is God designed me to be great, and these are devotional books that you have created.
31-day devotional.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has a day 1 through 31. Day 1 reality, day 2 reality. 31 days of my reality is God designed me to be great.
I love that. My
Dealing with a lot of
reality.
people, my reality. That's our, that's God's reality for our life. He designed us to be great, and a lot of people don't think that greatness is important to God, but it's scripture. It's biblical. He told Abram, I'm going to make your name
Great. That's right.
Yeah.
God wants us successful. He told Joshua,
Yes.
you will meditate on me day and night, and you will have
Good success. That's right.
So people are like, no, that is important.
Yes.
God wants the world to look at us and say, wow.
Exactly.
Yes.
They not what they look. They not what I remember when they were da 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 da.
Wow.
Or look what God has done.
in their life.
Yes.
So the reality is, no matter what I'm challenged with, I'm designed by God to be great.
To be great. That's
And
right.
I am going after everything. As long as there's breath in my body, everything that He has for me, I'm pursuing it, chasing it, and I'm going to overcome and recover all.
Oh,
That's wonderful.
that's right. That's why I picked that song that we
I
our
heard that.
intro. Whatever you want, go get
get
it.
it.
God's
Yeah.
got a
Love
plan. Go
Love
live
it.
it.
That's
love
it.
He's
that.
making
Yes.
a way
Yes, I'm
every
listening
day.
to it. I'm
Yes.
listening.
Yes.
Yes.
So how can people get your book? And I'm sorry, I
That's
know you were
okay.
going to say something.
No,
Tell
that's
us how we can get the book, or this is just one of your books. But tell us how they can get My Reality is God Designed for Me to Be Great.
Well, we're doing a book signing at the end of the month. But you can go on Amazon, Zuline Press. You can research it by the title. I don't believe by my name, but I believe it's by the title. But we are doing a book signing to keep follow us on via Facebook on Blessed to Be a Blessing, and you'll get all the information on the book side. And we just waiting for, we had to order more books. We had books came in and they were gone quick.
Oh wow, that's
So,
wonderful.
and we have people that's still ordering the books from Amazon. I told them, I said, just go in and order a book and bring it to the book signing, and I'll sign it.
That's
but
awesome.
we're going to order another 40 to 60 books in the next week.
Okay.
So because we order directly from Zuline, and it takes like 5 days to get to us.
Yeah.
So people can go to your Facebook page, which is Blessed to Be a Blessing.
Blessed to Be a Blessing. and that's going to because I it's a tentative date, and I don't want to give the
I
date
got you.
and then it changes.
Yes.
So just keep following us on Blessed to Be a Blessing.
I love that title.
Yep.
I say that all the time. We are blessed to be a blessing.
That's our ministry, Blessed to Be a Blessing.
Yes. Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, what are some of the hardness, the I guess trials that in doing these plays, and because it's a lot of work that has to go into that, right? So much work, so it's not easy at all.
Not at all.
So tell us about that journey of how, some of the trials and tribulations that you have gone through.
And before you tell us, remember, callers, you can call in. He's got more tickets.
Yep.
313-355-6018. Get your tickets to the play Married with Single Intentions. Go ahead, Pastor.
Perfect story. We were a week from one of the plays, and
We've got a caller.
You get some people who I love working with humble people. I tell people, if I got to be humble, everybody got to be humble. But sometimes you just don't get that.
Okay.
And we had a young lady who was she was really how I want to say this, a diva, and so at our last rehearsal leading up to dress rehearsal, me and her clashed.
Okay.
And she was a star, and she quit.
Oh, wow.
She quit on a Tuesday, and the play was that Friday.
Wow.
I believe in being unshakable. So I'm a visionary, so I move on quickly. So we had all of my directors, whoever my director, they know everyone's character. Even if they don't know everyone's lines, they know everyone's character, the demeanor, the personality. So I had a young lady, her name was Darcel. Darcel, that's one of my sweetie pies. She does the praise dances in our play.
Okay.
But she was the director of this one. So I said, call Darcel. I said, Darcy, hey, Pastor. I said, I need you to do something for me. She said, what? I said, I need you to play such and such in the play. She said, but I don't know that line. I said, what we're going to do is we're going to buy a Bluetooth. We're going to link it to your phone.
So you can hear it.
So you can hear us. Mm-hmm. And we're going to just feed you your lines off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
She said, but I said, you know the play. I said, I said, you can do this. She did it. It was a hit. And I admitted to the crowd, the audience afterwards, they said, we never would have knew that.
Wow.
We never knew. I've had people quit a month before the play.
Mm-hmm. Or get sick.
Well, a lot of times people just get mad and just it's the devil fights us. I mean, we'll really go through.
Okay.
And people do get sick. We battle a lot. Like for this play, I probably rearranged 3 or 4 different cast members leading up to it, and we finally just now got it to where everyone's in their place. But it's just being determined, just saying, no, I'm not gonna stop. We're going to put on a great show.
I love you saying that because oftentimes we think because things are coming up against us, that's not God.
Yep.
That's
Right.
not God.
That's not God.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's not always some fight. You sounded too religious. That's all. It's not always some battle.
Yeah.
Well, Frederick Douglass said this. What he says, no progress.
We hear you,
No
caller.
adversity, no progress. It was something like that. But
Yes.
your progression is going to come with some opposition, especially if you're a world changer. If you're a world changer, it's going to be a
Expect
fight.
opposition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you, caller. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, speak up a little bit.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Turn down the.
You said what now?
Okay. So I was just. Yeah. I was trying to turn down the volume on my. I was trying to turn down the volume. Record on the. YouTube.
If you have us on, you have to turn that off if you have us on another device.
Right.
But we can hear you, so go ahead and speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to just come on and congratulate you for having the play. I was just listening. I didn't get to come on at the very beginning, but I was interested in the title of the play and what the play was about. I was looking for the date, so I did finally see the date. But I'm always grateful to support people who are local for plays, and I just appreciate. I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate you for calling in, and that's encouraging. And are you gonna come to the play?
I am going to try. I have a unique situation because I'm having surgery on the 8th, but I'll be on a walk. So hopefully I'll be off the walker by then and toting a cane. But I would love to. I am interested in seeing what the play is about. Yes.
Well, wonderful. I think the other caller got the Friday ticket, right?
We have 2 Saturday tickets left. Yeah.
So we have 2 Saturday tickets. That's Saturday, May the 13th. And you're the winner if you'd like the tickets.
I would.
Wonderful. So give us a call right back, or I know your name. This is Deborah, right?
It is.
Yeah, I got you. All right, I've got you. We'll get the tickets to you, Deborah, and thank you so much for calling. And enjoy the play. It's called Married with Single Intentions.
God bless you, Deborah.
God bless you.
Yes, I'm very interested in that.
It is. It's going to blow you away. You're going to be really blessed.
I'm going to make sure we're there. Yeah,
Oh,
my
yeah,
husband and I.
that's good.
Yes.
Yes.
So are there any last words before we start wrapping up?
Yes.
Yeah. That you want to leave with the audience?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you, ladies. You're
Thank
amazing.
you.
Keep
Thank
doing
you.
what you're doing. It's an honor to be blessed and graced by your presence, by 2 queens that's doing great things, and we have to recognize that. I just want to tell our audience, thank you for listening. We are blessed to be a blessing. Come on out to the play,
Yes.
May 12th and 13th. Married with Single Intentions, 8801 Woolward at Gladstone. For ticket information, you can call me direct at 313-316-5454, or you can get the fly. You can also purchase tickets at
God's World.
God's World. And
I ran into him at God's World the other
God's
day.
World. Yeah, sure did. And I had just talked to you,
And
you walked
we
in.
had just spoken to one another,
Awesome.
and then ran into each other at God's World
At
like a
God's
few
World.
minutes after.
God's World. We and it's at
On 7 Mile Road.
In
It's
Schaefer.
13533.
And Schaefer.
Yep, in Schaefer. Yep, on 7 Mile, West 7 Mile, and then at Baker's Bible Bookstore. That's 10200 at Grand River Avenue. That's right across the street from Straight Gray.
Yes.
The megachurch.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can get your tickets there. The doors open at 6:30 p.m. The show starts at 7 p.m. The cast is amazing. We have some local talent. Detroit, y'all, is talented.
Yes.
Detroit
yes.
is full of talent. Tickets are $25. Again, you can reach me at 313-316-5454. We look forward to seeing you.
Well, thank you so much, Pastor Kerr, for coming
Yes,
on.
thank
We
you.
appreciate you. We God bless you.
Yes.
Much success to you in
Thank
the
you so
play.
much.
You're playing all your endeavors and what you're doing in the community.
Thank
The
you
Master
so much.
said, "I want to find my people doing the work
Yes.
when I come," and you're out here doing it, sir. And so we thank you
Yes.
again. Everyone, have a good night. Don't forget to tune in next Wednesday, 6:00 p.m. right here on Community Updates and Enlightened Hearts.
Yeah. Take care.
Beautiful ladies. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I had fun. I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah, it was nice having you here. That's the